Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Down in New Orleans, where the Blues are born, today the Saints opened up minicamp, their mandatory minicamp, and there was a lot, of note, of course. Everyone who was supposed to be there was there. Michael Thomas was there, although he was just watching. Alvin Kamara was there. Chauncey Garner-Johnson was there. Demario Davis. So that's the fantastic news. All the players that were supposed to be there were there. And maybe also of significance is that the Saints had 4 players there on a tryout basis. And among them was Joe Schobert, who we talked about last week, the former Browns linebacker and Jaguars Steelers linebacker. Sinio Kelmete, a former Saints offensive lineman. And veteran running back David Johnson was there. We talked so much about the running back position here in this offseason. It was it's interesting that now it's led to this point. We learned on Monday that they were bringing Johnson in for a workout, and now he is trying out here at minicamp. The photo here, if you're watching, is courtesy of Mike Triplett of ESPN.com. You'll see the running backs there, all taking reps. Kamara in the middle. That's David Johnson on the right and Mark Ingram on the left. So the Saints having some options out there at running back. I am really interested in David Johnson to see how this may play out. If you recall, and if you followed the show throughout this offseason, we have talked a good bit about the NFL free agent running back situation and who might be realistic options for New Orleans. And one by one, we've sort of crossed them off the list. We talked about Sony Michel. Saints brought him in. Would have made a ton of sense. He ultimately decided to take a lesser deal with the Miami Dolphins. I can't say a lesser deal because I don't know if or what the Saints offered, but he took a veteran minimum deal with the Miami Dolphins to go play closer to home. Philip Lindsay, who had a really great start to his career coming out of Colorado as an undrafted free agent, landed with the Broncos, was really good early, and then it just sort of fizzled on him. He signed with Indianapolis. We talked about Tariq Cohen, who had the unfortunate injury a couple of years ago, and he's really fought for 2 years to come back from it. And then he tore his Achilles doing a workout, and it was streamed on Instagram Live, just massively unfortunate. So you scratched him off. We talked about Darrell Williams, the former LSU player who had been a really good, serviceable backup in Kansas City. Well, he signed with Arizona. So every other running back that we looked at was really just sort of an aging veteran. And we talked about Devontae Booker and Carlos Hyde and Latavius Murray. I mean, a whole bunch of guys that you look down the list and you go, what's a realistic option of someone who is productive and has some gas left in the tank that might still be an option? And David Johnson was really the only other one, but he's 30 years old at this point. So, quick reminder, David Johnson was in Arizona back in 2016, his second year with the team. He was all-pro that year. Ran for 1,200 yards in his second year in the NFL and was first-team all-pro. Spent 5 seasons in Arizona, and then he was part of that DeAndre Hopkins trade that Bill O'Brien. That trade alone probably got Bill O'Brien fired, or should have started the wheels in motion to get Bill O'Brien fired. But the Texans traded for David Johnson, and he was pretty good in 2020. He only played in 12 games, so he missed 4 games that year. That was the COVID year. But he ran for just under 700 yards and had about 300 receiving yards. So he was a good, versatile player, but he wasn't the level he was when he was an all-pro back in 2016, and he missed 4 games. And then last year, he played in 13 games, only started 4. His productivity went to basically nil. He ran for just 228 yards, had 225 receiving yards. Now, it's also fair to mention that Deshaun Watson wasn't playing quarterback for the Texans last year, so their whole offense was a mess. I guess the thing for New Orleans that you could look at and you could say is, okay, 2 things. Number 1, how much does David Johnson have left in the tank? And number 2, how much is it going to cost to get him? For what it's worth, and again, take this for what it's worth. Spotrac has a function where they list market value for each free agent. And they list David Johnson's market value at 2 years as a free agent. They list his market value at 2 years, $2.93 million, which averages out to $1.4 million per year, and that would be 52nd in the NFL among running backs. So basically at the bottom of the backups in the NFL. And you know what? I could absolutely live with that. You give David Johnson an incentive-laden bargain basement deal if he wants to continue his career. I mean, the flip side of it is it's certainly concerning when you say, why isn't anyone else involved? Why isn't anyone else working out this former All-Pro? And we've seen the Saints go down this road before when they've worked out running backs late in their career. I mean, remember, famously, they brought in Edgerrin James for a workout late in his career. They try, and at all positions. I mean, they did this with Champ Bailey. They try to see if they can squeeze that orange to get any juice out of it, and they're going to try it here with David Johnson this week at minicamp to see if he can earn a roster spot. But if David Johnson can be the 2020 David Johnson, again, remember, played in 12 games, so didn't play a full season, but ran for 691 yards and had 314 receiving yards as a backup, as a number 2, as a complementary piece to Alvin Kamara, and maybe a guy that takes on a larger role if and when Kamara misses 6 games due to his impending suspension, then I'm totally good with that. And if nothing else, he's a veteran option in camp along with Mark Ingram and Abram Smith. And to me, Abram Smith is the wild card here. The undrafted rookie free agent out of Baylor. We've talked about a good bit, but that's the wild card. If Abram Smith, I hope Abram Smith comes in and beats out Mark Ingram and David Johnson, because I would love to have a rookie with fresh legs, full of piss and vinegar, ready to go prove he belongs in the NFL. And the Saints have hit on those guys. We've talked about it a bunch. Pierre Thomas, Kyrie Robinson, Chris Ivory. There's been a bunch over the years. Those undrafted rookie free agents where, boom, they have hit. Maybe he's the next one. I hope he is, because I'd rather get this guy on an undrafted rookie free agent deal on the elevator up instead of hoping you catch something out of David Johnson or Mark Ingram where the elevator is very clearly going down. But this is a pretty good insurance policy. Let's see how he does this week at minicamp to see if maybe he can earn a roster spot. Also, what about Senio Kelmente? Remember, he was a really good swing offensive lineman for the Saints. And then in 2018, he signed the 3-year, $12 million deal with the Texans. He was there for 3 years. And then last year was with the Chargers, played 9 games, started 2. He's 31 years old now, obviously knows the Saints, knows the system, knows the organization, all that sort of stuff. I'm curious if he could still be a valuable backup as a swing guy. He's not going to be a starter. Your starting 5 are set. But you tested the depth of your offensive line last year, and I'll remind you, on their 53-man roster last year, the Saints kept 9 offensive linemen. You know you're going to have your 5 starters, and I'm going to go and assume that Hurst and Throckmorton are going to make this team as well. That would put you at 7 with 2 spots available. Remember, Will Clapp is now with the Chargers, so that tackle eligible, the 6th offensive lineman, the swing spots. Kelmete could play center guard and tackle. He can play all 3 spots, all 5 spots on the line, but center guard tackle. There's value there if he has any gas left in the tank. If he's got anything left in those legs at 31 years old after having bounced around now for a few years, maybe some value. We'll keep our eye on Senio Kelmete as well if the Saints sign him and maybe bring him into camp to try out. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.